Donald Trump is having a psychotic meltdown, making about a dozen posts attacking the same federal judge. It's post after post after post.
So MeidasTouch just exposed Trump's latest authoritarian meltdown over a ballroom he's pretending is national security infrastructure. This case perfectly captures his pattern of weaponizing the presidency for personal gain. We're breaking down how Judge Leon is dismantling Trump's delusional legal arguments.
And right now, the target of these psychotic attacks is a federal judge named Judge Leon, a federal judge from the Washington, D.C. federal court, who ruled against Donald Trump yet again to block the construction of Donald Trump's ballroom, but clarified that the injunction to block the construction of the ballroom applies only to the actual ballroom itself, the above ground work, as federal judge Leon calls it, not the purported below ground work, which Donald Trump claims he's building a state-of-the-art bunker for himself that is needed, he says, to protect him from drones and ballistic missiles and bunker busters and other weapons that he says may be targeting him right now, or in the event of nuclear annihilation, he's going to need to be in this bunker.
The timing here is crucial. As Trump escalates toward war with Iran, he's literally hiding in a luxury bunker, claiming ballroom construction protects national security. Real presidents lead from the front during crises. Trump builds escape routes while planning military action.
And Donald Trump rushed to the Court of Appeals and said, this federal judge is threatening my life. He said, the judge is leaving me very vulnerable to drone attacks and to all these other attacks because I need this ballroom for the national security of this nation and for my protection. Please help me. The judge didn't clarify his order, so I'm really worried about my life. My life is in jeopardy.
Compare this to FDR staying in Washington during Pearl Harbor, or Lincoln remaining in the White House during Civil War battles. Trump's cowardice broadcasts weakness to every adversary. Iran, China, Russia, they're all watching America's president cower behind ballroom walls.
I mean, just think about, though, the gaslighting and the sociopathic nature to actually make that argument. And again, I don't believe our founders ever contemplated such a weak and pathetic individual who would make that type of argument. The presidency's proud and strong and tough, and that doesn't mean like ranting and raving like a lunatic on social media. It means just behaving like a human being with dignity.
Judge Leon is doing exactly what the founders intended, checking executive overreach through judicial review. This separation of powers exists precisely to stop presidents from abusing taxpayer funds for personal projects disguised as government business. Constitutional design working as intended.
And then the district court judge, Judge Leon, who I should mention, this district court judge is a right-wing judge appointed in 2002 by George W. Bush, very conservative judge, traditional conservative judge, who's been looking at the law and says, look, if you want to build your ballroom, little baby, he didn't say baby, but if you want to build your little ballroom, go to Congress, have them approve it. If you don't want taxpayers to pay for it, then go and have Congress approve private donors to pay for it. And it's also deeply concerning that you're going to be claiming that private donors are now the ones funding national security apparatus, that national security classified information is being funded by private donors. And
a Bush-appointed conservative judge blocking Trump proves this transcends party lines. The private donor angle creates massive security vulnerabilities. Foreign governments could infiltrate classified facilities through shell donations. Judge Leon recognizes the obvious national security threat here.
But the judge was like, how disingenuous is it that you're making an argument now that the ballroom structure itself, that is what is needed to protect you from ballistic missiles and FPV drone and other weapons that are attacking you. The ballroom, which you claim is for parties and hosting dignitaries, you're saying that is now a shield and it's not actually a ballroom. And that the bunker beneath, which you claimed is the national security issue, you're now saying that they're one and the same, that the ballroom is the bunker is the ballroom, and that they can't be in any way disassembled from each other in terms of a national security analysis, because Trump now claims the ballroom is his shield from drone attacks and ballistic missile attacks.
The judge is surgically exposing Trump's contradictory arguments. First, the ballroom was for parties. Then suddenly it's missile defense infrastructure. This logical dismantling reveals Trump's core strategy. Throw enough lies at the wall until something sticks. Judge Leon isn't buying it.
There's this post. He goes, the White House doesn't have a ballroom, no taxpayer money, which presidents have desperately wanted or desired for over 150 years. But a Trump-hating D.C. District Court judge, a man who has gone out of his way to undermine national security and to make sure that this great gift to America gets delayed or doesn't get built, is attempting to prevent future presidents and world leaders from having a safe and secure large-scale meeting place or ballroom, one with bomb shelters and state-of-the-art hospitals and medical facilities, protective partitioning, top-secret military installation, structures and equipment, protective missile-resistant steel columns, roofs, beams, drone-proof ceilings and roofs, military-grade venting, and bullet, ballistic, and blast-proof glass, which all means that no future president living in the White House without this ballroom can ever be safe and secure at events, future inaugurations, or global summits.
Notice how Trump immediately attacks the judge personally when his legal arguments fail. Classic authoritarian playbook. Judge Leon has served with distinction for over 2 decades. These attacks on judicial independence are exactly what dictators do when courts constrain their power.
Then he goes on to say the out-of-control Trump-hating D.C. court judge who doesn't want to accept a $400 million gift, one of the most beautiful ballrooms anywhere in the world, desperately needed by the White House and its future presidents, wants me to build the underground portion of the ballroom without the above ground portion, but the underground doesn't work, isn't necessary, and would indeed be useless without the above ground sections. The underground portion is wedded to and serves the upper portion, including the bomb shelters, state-of-the-art hospital and medical facilities, protective partitioning. Then he goes on to say missile protection, ballistic proof, and he just keeps going on and on and on about this.
Trump just confessed in his own social media posts that the ballroom and bunker are inseparable, proving the judge's point that this was never legitimate government construction. He's literally providing evidence against himself while having a public meltdown. Self-destructive legal strategy.
I want people to think for a moment, though, about what Trump's entire strategy is, though, because it is a bit overwhelming. It is constantly litigating and imposing himself and forcing himself upon whatever unlawfully over and over and over again. And what he's encountered a lot in his life is that when you keep on doing it, eventually, sometimes, all right, fine. You just want to build your stupid ballroom. Just build your stupid ballroom.
This bullying pattern destroyed his businesses, his presidency, and now his legal cases. Judge Leon represents institutional resistance actually working. Every capitulation to Trump's demands historically led to escalation. The stolen documents, January 6th, election interference. Never again.
By the way, that's how he views negotiations with Iran, not as negotiations, but just keep on saying the lie over and over and over again and expect that your adversary is just going to be, all right, you want the Strait of Hormuz? Take the Strait of Hormuz. You want your stupid ballroom? Take your stupid ballroom. And so why I always say, commonly on this show, if you give him an inch, he takes your life. Frankly, it is in your self-interest, no matter what, to never give in at all. And even if you're viewing it selfishly, because it will destroy you.
His ballroom tantrums mirror his Iran strategy: make insane demands, attack anyone who resists, claim victimhood when challenged. This personal corruption directly connects to his foreign policy disasters. Weak leadership at home equals weakness abroad during this critical Iran crisis.
You're done, because you've now allowed that in, and it will ultimately mutate you into whatever this thing is. And it's why you win the order. He goes back and makes an argument that you go, what the hell are you talking? The ballroom is a national security to save you from ballistic missile. Who would even think to make it? Trump would think to make that argument, right? The same guy who's still whining in 2026, and he will be whining until the very end about the 2020 election and claiming that he actually won and that there were Chinese satellites with Italian satellites that changed the votes, and that's how he really, he's a maniac. You're not dealing with a rational person. You just got to assert yourself forcefully and just say no.
Trump's entire worldview operates on conspiracy theories and victimhood narratives. Chinese satellites, Italian interference, ballroom missile shields, pure delusion. Judge Leon's firm no represents how every institution must respond. Rational discourse is impossible with this mindset.